Yeah.
Okay, we can start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I want to welcome you to our first Fun Tank virtual pitch competition. We're excited to see what these finalists have to say. Just to give you a quick update, we started with 100 people trying out for this, and then from 100, we narrowed it down to 20. Out of these 20s, they all sent us videos, and we picked three finalists that will be presenting to us their amazing presentation, telling us a little bit about their product and how they came where they're at right now. So I wanted to introduce to you briefly our mentors, our judges, our market leaders that are going to share with you and give us valuable feedback that you could also apply to your own business if you're listening to this. And of course, they're gonna, give in everything, if every information that's needed for each of the finalists, and we're gonna really question them. So I'm gonna open the floor. I'm gonna have each of the mentors present themselves, and we'll start off with Nadav.
Hi everyone, Doug from CapEc. Glad to have this event. It's been great seeing so many wonderful candidates and amazing stores and brands that we've had a chance to look at. The three finalists are great stores in all three of them. And I hope to hear wonderful business plans and pitches so that we can support them and grow. Thank you.
Next, we have Dr. Angelos from AVASK.
Hi guys, it's Angelos from AVASK. I'm coming in with expertise in cross-border e-commerce strategies and tax. So I have been working with several sellers that they've managed to expand internationally. So for me, it's really exciting, to be part of this fun tank, and I would say we all going to bring our different expertise on the table. So I look forward to learning more and listening more about their journey so far and how best we could actually address their any questions that they would have in terms of like their growth and the complexities and how we can actually overcome any kind of challenges on this growth path, let's say. So thank you very much.
Yes. Next, we have Ephraim.
Hi, everyone. I'm Ephraim Ausch from Tactical Logistics Solutions. I come with a background of being a seller myself for many years, and then being a part of Tactical Logistics, where we help sellers with all the logistic needs. It's a big part of selling on any platform, on Amazon or anywhere else, is getting your product where it needs to be. And now with tariffs and all the changes that's happening logistically, it's a super important part of a brand to make sure that they're in tune in that. So I'm really excited to be here and hear the pitches from these finalists, and looking forward to be part of it. Thank you.
Yes. And next, we have Brandon with Data Dive.
Yeah, hi. Good to meet everybody. So I've been selling on Amazon since 2015 with my wife. We've done over 75 million in sales. We have been teaching since 2018 and have taught thousands of people to sell on Amazon. We also have our software Data Dive, which is the industry-leading software for keyword research and SEO. Nice to meet everybody.
Great. And we have Vanessa from Carbon 6.
Hey guys, super excited to be here. I come with a lot of experience on the Amazon and Walmart marketplace backend, making sure that accounts are running well and healthy, so you can really expand those sales, expand that catalog. And also with Carbon 6, we support brands with the more operationals on certain softwares, like in advertising, reimbursements, like outside traffic and things like that. Excited to see the pitch of the finalists.
Yes, we're very excited. So now the grand winner, what they are going to be receiving is $150,000 in no-cost inventory funding. So it could really help them fuel your growth. So the idea is all these tools that we're going to be, they're going to be winning, and all these great feedback is to take them to the next level. We have Carbon 6. They're going to be getting $3,000 in free reimbursements. AVASK will be giving 2 free VAT registrations and 2 EPR registrations. We have Tactical that will be giving 20% off container costs and plus 2 months of free storage. And Data Dive, 6 months of Data Dive subscription, along with 2 hours of free coaching. So you can see here, this is more than $500,000 worth of gift. So we're very excited to see the finalist pitch. So these are the evaluation that they will be judged on. Number 1, business model and scalability. 2, market opportunity and product innovation. 3, financial performance and metrics. 4, brand positioning and marketing. 5, leadership team and execution capability. So each judge will have questions. They're gonna have a 5-minute presentation where we're gonna sort of not drill them, but really get deep into what they're presenting and ask them questions and even offer advice to see what they can improve in that area. So here are our finalists. We have Abraham with GenCare Consumer Products, and also his partner will be presenting. We have Ami and his wife from EmberSky will be presenting with us today. And we have Etienne Emil with UMAMI that will be presenting today. So let's get this party started. We're gonna also have Q&A at the end, and each of them will have a surprise question from me. This is something last minute to see what their response is, and hopefully these questions are going to be interesting. So be sure to stay till the end to hear them. So I guess let's start with our first finalists. I think we have Abraham. Are we ready to go? Let's have him share his screen where he could present his thank you. Perfect.
We don't hear you. Are you speaking?
Yep.
Okay. Now we hear you. Great.
All right. So you see my presentation?
Yes,
We see it.
Yep.
Let me know when to start.
You can start.
Go ahead. It's all yours.
Go ahead.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Vinod Bursadia, co-founder of GenCare Consumer Products, with my co-founder Abraham Wurzberger here. We are on a mission to make trusted, everyday health essentials affordable and accessible to every household in America. Let me show you how we are not just competing, but leading a new era of an OTC care. GenCare was born out of a confusion. If you're looking at it, the current OTC aisles today are overpriced, confusing, and outdated. And we saw a gap. We filled the gap with a lean and digital first model. We're selling directly to the consumers on Amazon and Walmart, offering a quality pharmaceutical grade OTC products at up to 90% cheaper or less than the national brands. This is not just about the cost, it's about the clarity, access, and scale. We're operating in 8 major categories of an OTC drugs, ranging from allergy relief to women's health. Let's face it, the basic healthcare products like allergy relief or laxity or pain relief, it should not cost about 44 cents a pill. I would like to use an example of a Zyrtec, a cetirizine. We currently just went through the allergy season. Zyrtec is a brand name, national brand. It's currently costing about 44 cents a pill. These national brands are charging this premium for their branding, not for a better outcomes. I would also compare that with a store brand like an Equate or a CVS, where they're charging about 17 cents a pill, where their overheads, hefty overheads, are also included in the price going out to the consumer. And our solution is a GenCare. We offer a quality product equivalent to a national brands at a fraction of a price, which is just 4 cents a pill. We have proven that consumers are ready for this. Why overpay for the basics? And this solution has given GenCare consumer products a traction of $15 million in a trailing revenue, more than a $15 million in a revenue in the last 12 months, trailing months. And our tacos advertising cost is under 12%, which gives a strong signal of a marketing efficiency. We're seeing an increasing repeat buyers, as well as a sales velocity and a review velocity, which means that consumers are not just buying, they're also coming back and showing or spreading the words. Here is a proof that our solution is working and our traction is not by chance, but it's by design. We are showing up top 1% in Amazon categories. We already have more than 120,000 five-star reviews across the brand. And we have more than 55,000 monthly subscriptions with a 250K monthly shipped revenues. We're stealing the brands, sales from the national brands and the store brands. Now, with the proven solution, let's deep dive into the market analysis or market opportunity and what is our competitive edge. So overall, the US OTC industry is valued at $40 billion. That's a massive opportunity with 5% year-over-year growth. As a consumer are shifting to the digital experience, digital shopping, as well as they're asking for an affordability, we are in the perfect position. Our biggest competitors like national brands, Advil, Claritin, Tylenol, Zyrtec, they all win on their legacy presence, but we win on the cost, convenience, and execution of the speed, or the execution speed. And our edges include the digital first pricing model, agile inventory systems, and a direct consumer relationships. Growth wise, for in next 6 to 8 months, we're planning to expand in at least 5 new OTC categories, launching our own D2C website, as well as scale the retail partnerships we are beyond Amazon and Walmart. Apart from that, we're also accelerating our Amazon advertising and influencer collaborations. So basically, in a nutshell, our infrastructure is ready and our execution model is built for scale. Talking about the team, GenCare is led by a team of industry veterans with a deep experience in FDA compliance, CPG operations, as well as the e-commerce execution. From formulation to a fulfillment, we have built up every process to be fast, efficient, and scalable. In short, we're not reinventing the healthcare products, but we are re-engineering how they reach the people. Our funding ask is $1 million to accelerate our lead in the category. And we're planning to use that for an inventory restocks to reduce the out of stock losses, increasing and amping up our marketing and influencer campaigns, as well as the retail chain expansions. And we expect that this investment or funding will drive at least 20 to 30% revenue lift within the next 12 months. So let's partner to scale affordable health access across the country. Thank you.
Nice.
Very nice. Yeah.
Now we open for questions also. So, Nadav, would you like to have any questions?
Yeah, you can stop your share now. Thank you. Looks amazing. I think it's a wonderful category. Obviously, it's a huge category. I'd like to ask you, where do you manufacture and how do you manage your logistics?
So we do have our bulk products. We do manufacture in India as well as US. All of the products are quality tested and packaged in US here in East Brunswick, New Jersey.
Okay.
And we're shipping from New Jersey into Amazon warehouses, avoiding a placement fee.
Wonderful. And when it comes to the advertising, we were saying 12% tacos. What's the regular advertising tacos in the industry compared to your competitors?
About 20%, I would say. Our competitors are about 20 to 25%.
And how much of new clients do subscribe and save? Hello?
We lose him? Hello? All
He had
right.
mentioned in his presentation 250,000 recurring, but I think he's back.
Yeah,
Okay.
you're back. Yeah, I want to know what's the growth on average from sales to subscribing. Is the subscribing save also something that's growing in the same rate?
Yeah, we're about 35% growth we're seeing month over month in terms of the subscriptions.
Very nice. Okay. Anyone else? Questions?
I think Vanessa, raise your hand.
Yeah, yeah. Wanted to ask you, great presentation, by the way. I love the products. I think your listings are fantastic. What is the marketing strategy? This is to steal market share from these big companies like Sirtech and Advil and all of the ones that you mentioned, or are you finding new ways to drive traffic or find customers that otherwise will be buying from them? Like, what is the strategy in marketing there?
So our market strategy is a hybrid. It's the diversion of the market share of the customers from the brands, but at the same time, we're creating our own unique value propositions, finding a new customers and retaining a new customers because of our value creation that we're creating to the consumers in terms of the unit cost, as well as we're always working on our listings. We are making our listings continuously improved retail ready listings to bring in new brand to customers and then retain.
Do you ever get issues with compliance with Amazon?
Of course, we always get that.
How often and how long does that last?
Luckily, with how often means every time, because we're operating into the category which is regulated by an FDA, and then we do get a lot of false positive from an Amazon. We have been working around to knock it down in less than 3 to 4 days in turnaround times, because our in-house experience, my personal experience, I come from an FDA background when it comes to an OTCs and dietary supplements, and I'm proud to say that we have an in-house expertise to answer and provide the documentations to Amazon what they're looking for.
Okay, thank you.
Right. Great. We have Efren.
Yes. I wasn't sure if I saw in the presentation any plans of going into retail stores, because like for me myself, I know when I go buy any of these things, probably 80% of the time I go into a store rather than buying Tylenol or Zyrtec online. I'll rather go into a store down the street and pick up some Tylenol or any of these things.
Yep. So as I concluded, it part of our growth plan is to expand into retail partnerships into the Walmart and couple other retailers we are in the dock right now.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Angelos?
Yeah. Thanks, Vinod, for the presentation. I think for me, I had a couple of questions, primarily in terms of like your replenishing rate. And how do you diversify? So how do you guys manage your current replenishing rates? And do you have multiple partners that you use in terms of like your sourcing, let's say? Do you want to give us a little bit of an overview there?
Sure, absolutely. We currently have a vertically integrated supply chain where we're vertically integrated with a primary manufacturer of our products. So currently we do not entertain a multiple suppliers. Everything is routed through the one. And we're basically any given point in time, we're keeping enough stocks to cover at least the 60 days worth of the stocks in Amazon. And then we have, based on the rolling forecast or the based on a month to month sales history, we're keeping enough stock in the warehouse here to be able to constantly fulfill and trying to avoid the out of stock situations.
Okay. And in terms of like the aspects of from if you were to receive, for example, 200,000 tomorrow, let's say, because I think you guys are asking for 1 million, let's say, but I think if you were to get the first batch of funds, let's say, where would you focus in terms of like your growth? Because you mentioned four aspects.
Yeah.
What will be the focus of your expansion, let's say?
Definitely 40%, which is going to be the major focus, is going to be on inventories. So
Okay.
currently, we're looking at month to month and year to year a tremendous growth in our category, in our product listings. So inventory is going to be our major focus, amping up at least a 90 days inventories on hand.
Okay.
Is that funding of the 400,000 for inventory, is it to fund current SKUs or the new developments in the 5 categories that you mentioned?
It's a combination of both.
Okay.
So it's going to be 70-30. 70% is going to be the current inventory items and 30% allocated towards the new categories and items.
Okay. Great. Do we have any final questions? Okay, Brandon?
Yeah, so how large is your total team? Where's your main facility located? And then tell me about the different divisions of your team structure.
Sure. So our primary facility is located here in East Brunswick, New Jersey. That is where our the packaging operations and vertical integrations with the manufacturer is.
So just on that, you're bringing in a lot of the raw materials and drugs, and then you're actually manufacturing in New Jersey.
We're manufacturing and packaging in New Jersey. Certain times we're utilizing a bulk manufacturers all over the world. We're bringing in the bulk and doing the packaging and the testing as well. So that is what we have located in New Jersey. With regards to the Amazon and Walmart operations, the core team is I and my partner, but then we have a well-versed team of service providers and VAs, cumulative of about 11 people supporting the operations.
How many total SKUs do you have right now?
I'm sorry?
How many total SKUs do you have on Amazon right now?
We have 32 SKUs.
And what's your total top line?
Last 12 months, 15 million.
15 or 12?
15.
And the projection for this year, for the next 12?
Next 12 is at least $18 million.
What do you account for the mostly stagnant growth? I mean, I guess 20%, but are you not planning on launching a lot of new SKUs?
So we do launch SKUs, but what happens is in our arena, it takes about 2 to 3 months before we hit it at the full potential, and we stagger our growth in terms of managing the cash flows and everything. Should we have a funding, we can launch multiple SKUs together. Currently, we're basically funding our own growth right now, so we're kind of staggering the SKUs as we grow. Now we think that we have a platform set and we are in capability to launch multiple SKUs together with a lot of other factors turned into it.
And when we talk about multiple SKUs, you say the launch variations within the SKUs that you already have, meaning the pills that are already there in your facility, or this is a completely new formula for other type of products?
Completely new formulas for the brands that we currently do not target or we do not have an equivalence for in our portfolio at this moment. So in other words, let me put it this way, in the OTC, $40 billion, or if I'm looking at the overall brands that are currently out there, we are covering probably 20 to 25% of the national brands out there. We still have another 75% brands to cover, to expand and put it into our portfolio.
Perfect. Well, I think we're going to have to wrap it up here
Thank you.
now. I want to thank you so much for the presentation. And next, we're going to have our brand EmberSky present.
Hi, everyone. I'm Laura Schmoisman. This is my husband, Ami Shapiro. I'm going to introduce myself a little bit. I don't think Ami was sharing screen yet. No. And sorry, I could not do this from my computer today, so it's going to be maybe a little more challenging. So as I mentioned, my name is Lara Schmoisman. I'm a marketer by trade, and I'm a former professor of marketing. Also, I just was finalist for LA Time Inspirational Woman. And I team up with with my husband. We want to make life better for everyone. So let me introduce you to Emberella. Emberella was really started with a problem that we had. We had our kids that they were in the range of autism, ADHD, highly gifted. Parents get really stressed. And one of the first things people tell you is give your kids medications, go to psychiatrists. But also there's another story behind it. As parents, you listen to all these people and you don't know what to do. Really early on, we learn about Montessori, Emilia Reggio, and that there was another way to help kids. There was ways to help with lights, with sounds. Even if you guys have kids, you know that maybe you have all this noise for to go to sleep, and they help them sleep. Or you can also put sounds and music. That's what from a very early age, we have these mobiles and we have all the stimulus for kids. And let's make it even simpler. When you guys go to a restaurant, why you choose a restaurant? Because of the atmosphere and how the lights impact the way that we feel and how it make us feel, and it make us have connections with others. So when early on we found out that this stimulus was helping our kids, we found that there wasn't enough in the market. And also the little that is in the market was really labeled for kids with autism or kids with problems. But this can benefit everyone. So we create Emberella, who our mission is really simple. Through playful experience, through touch and feel and see, is to calm yourself, to excite yourself, depends on what you're doing. I forgot to mention my husband is a product designer. He's been working in the industry with products for
25 years.
25 years. I want to say combined two. We're giving over half a decade of experience between product design and marketing. So today we are in Amazon, we're in Shopify, and we are in Etsy, and I think we can grow in many other places. Our D2C is growing. There are a lot of opportunities, and we are starting very strong in TikTok Shop as well, which I think that is a perfect target market. And what else? There you go. So we found that there was a problem. The problem was that people were trying to find a calming experience, sensory experience, but it wasn't nothing out there. Really was like the offering was really coming from factories. It was getting lost in translation. People could not connect with the products that they were selling now they are. Or, like I mentioned before, they were labeled, and nobody wants to be labeled and put it in the box that you don't feel like you belong to that box. So they refuse to buy that product. So Hex Lights is a modular lights that offer a soothing interactive experience. Not only you can play and create a shape that you like, but also it can give the mood in your space. You can use it to sleep. And even someone recently told me that they use it not only for kids, gamers, family rooms, but a senior told me that it was a great experience for them to have it in different places in their house. So the lighting was a muted light, but then at night when they got up, they felt like they didn't have to use a night light. It was about creating a mood. So also we see this as an opportunity for schools. So many other opportunities in retail. And later on, we think that we can go. Today, we're focusing on the D2C and digital markets and marketplaces, but we do think that there is opportunity to go to retail. So the market opportunity, and I'm getting a little excited here because I want to show you these numbers because the opportunity is there. And we're talking about billions here, and we're seeing how the children's lighting market and the US sensory rooms market is growing and the expectations that we can see for 2031. I mean, on 2033. So the numbers speak by themselves. And what's the opportunity here? And again, our only competition right now is factories from random places in the world or China that they cannot communicate well with their industry. So here is our competitive landscape. So as I mentioned just now, our niche is dominated by imports. And what's our difference? First, we have innovative designs, gentle, my husband expertise, and then our sensory expertise that we've been working on this for so many years with our kids and in the communities that we've been part. We've been experiencing this with our own hands. Then I come myself. I'm an expert marketing and I specialize in omnichannel. Actually, I talk a lot about search everywhere optimization. I truly believe that is about search with intention across the channels and keeping the narrative. And also something that I think that is fundamental in this space is superior customer support. People want to feel heard. They want to feel like they talk to you and you respond. They don't want to have bots. And mostly in this category that we're talking about kids, we're talking about parents that they are stressed and they want answers. So it's really important that we invest in having a team that can answer those questions. And with Rufus and all the AI, that also we are set up right to give people the right answers. Okay, plans from growth. As I told you, we're launching TikTok Shop. We are very, very excited about this. Also, we are launching a brand ambassador program for this line, and that is going to be kicking off in the next few days. We are already having some brand ambassadors that they are signed off, and you're going to start seeing a lot of activity out there with these products. And also, we want to go into some more marketplaces and also going into retail. And super important, there is the opportunity here of going global. As I mentioned before, there is one more time, I'm not going to get tired of saying this about getting lost in translation. We have the ability of going in different territories, different languages, and to adapt because of the marketing background that we have an international program to go with this product anywhere we want and make it to connect with that audience. And also we need to identify with these products what is the right product for each territory, because there are some countries that they don't face the same issues that we have in the US. So what is really important is to segment really what product is right for each territory. Use of funds. Okay, so how we want to use, launch new products. We think that, I mean, we have so many ideas, but tooling and doing things right and getting products right on market, it takes money. And right now, money we need to put again in an inventory because we're selling and we're always selling and we're always putting more money in inventory. So it doesn't give us the time or even the team to get more to deal with creating new products many times because we need to keep working on inventory. So why now and why Umbrella and why is the opportunity to growth? First of all, we're having a proven traction in the B2B and a D2C sales. We are patented product innovation in a booming niche. And there is a strong team behind in operations, in marketing, and we have the opportunities to expand internationally. And so I think the opportunity is there. So that was it for me. Thank you. I think I did right on timing, right?
Yes. Thank you. That was a great presentation. Very good. Now we open for question from our market leaders.
Yeah. Can you tell me more about your IP? I know that you have a lot of copycats, and that's going to be a challenge. So what is you said it's patented. Yeah.
So we're working with a marketing agency, a full service marketing agency, and they offer copywriters, SEO. We have designers. We have anything we need.
Well, to answer more specifically your question, there is a patent on our product that in this case, it's a factory patent, not our own. We mostly leveraged products that was out there, but differentiated it in a few little but impactful ways to bring it to market. The truly new innovation is what we're working on right now. We are developing brand new products, tooling them from scratch. We have a partnership with our factory where they will cover a big chunk of the tooling expense. So it's not going to all fall on us because they believe in us. We've been selling their product well and they know our plans. And that product will be protected. We already started talking to a number of patent lawyers, and we know that we have multiple ways to protect our new products that we're bringing to market. There's 3 of them that we're planning to launch for Q4 of this year.
And so the new products, what have you done to test the market and the appetite of the market for the new products versus the existing?
Right. So what we did, we're actually looking at additional markets beyond like sensory lights niche, and we integrating those sensory aspects and the lighting aspect, which we feel will differentiate us from others into those products. So just give you a quick example, since it's a fairly limited forum here, I have no problem sharing. That one product that if the slides are still up, I guess they're not up anymore. You saw the blue star. We're looking at, for example, these are called Stepping Stone for Children. They're increasingly popular out there. And there's a couple of versions that have lights in them, but they're not truly sensory. So they don't work very well. They have some LEDs that are pretty much exposed. So we're bringing out the same technology that we have in X lights into something that kids will actually step on and kind of balance. So it brings different aspects of play, which are also very important to all children, not just autistic children, and the sensory lights. So that's one product, for example, which we're not only doing that, but we're adding sounds, we're adding games into that. So there's different modes. You can play different games. And obviously very protectable.
Yeah, and also I don't have to stress enough, like as parents, I know my kids are older and we make that mistake. We let them play too many video games. And I know that the new search of parents are really trying to protect for what we know now. And so, but there is this oversensory exposure that they already have to television, video games, and everything. So it's really important to incorporate this lighting and the experience so they tie down somehow to what they expect, their mind expect.
Great. Ephraim, question?
Yeah, I think I saw in the presentation that you're sourcing that product in China, and like we're all aware, how is that impacting margins with the current market? I mean, 30% is right now. For 90 days, nobody knows what's going to happen after. Hopefully it stays that way or it gets lowered. How is that impacting the margins on this product that you're planning to come out with?
It's impacting it in a big way. It is obviously a challenge for everyone, for all sellers. For our particular products, there's really no other territories outside China that's really an expert in it, though I expect there will be. So we're actively looking. We're actively looking mostly in Vietnam, which is obviously flooded with Chinese factories setting shop. And we encourage our factory to set shop there as well because we built such a good relationship with them. So we have some long-term solution, but there's really no way to mitigate. The only way to really mitigate the situation right now is because we're a smaller seller. We're not 18 million or 15 million. We're under 1 million currently. We can leverage DDP. So we use a lot of DDP or, in this regard. So it saves us a lot of money, as you all know.
Good.
Right.
Right. Vanessa?
Yeah. Can you tell me a little bit more about the market on what is the total addressable market for your category and what's the growth in that? What are you seeing that the market is growing?
Yeah. We noticed that sensory products in general, sensory lights, really became popular over the last 3 to 4 years. And really, there's like a big trend in that regard. Everything that has the word sensory in it suddenly sells. There's more awareness that products that have this sensory, either tactile. It started with more tactile with all those bubble toys, for example, that were huge. And before that, even fidget spinners are really sensory because it's all about using your senses. So if it's touch or visual stimulation, which is lights, it's just something that's trendy. So we see it trending, and we're looking at ourselves as leaders within the light sensory area, which is also growing. And like I said, can be applied to products that are unexpected, that are not necessarily currently within it, by just integrating that sensory aspect. I hope that answered.
Yeah, I was just looking more for a number, but your answer gave me an insight that I wasn't thinking about before. Was you mentioned that this is trendy, and we know what happens to trendy products because we've seen it with this fidget spinner or whatever it's new and trendy. Those normally die. What's the plan there if that ever happens because sensory is not sexy anymore?
Yeah. If sensory as a whole is not sex anymore, then obviously products are also great products for children in general. I apologize for my dog here. He's starting to get antsy. They are the same products that are now considered sensory, in like the ones that we're doing right now, were used for people to just decorate their home. Were used for gamers. There's always ways to pivot, I think, your kind of the kind of products that you're doing with marketing and pretty much sell them to a different customer if needed. With that said, I really don't see the sensory movement being reduced anytime soon. I think that it's only going to grow kind of in response to all the digital, interaction that children have with video games and such.
And honestly, from the SEO point of view, I can see this trend growing, and I see this SEO search volume growing on these categories. So I see that there is a lot of people looking for information on this category and education.
Yeah, I had another follow-up. I don't know if you did as well. I'm sorry, Vanessa. Okay.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah.
Brandon.
So what you kept mentioning TikTok. What have you guys done as far as TikTok goes? What is your strategy there?
So we're partnering with TikTok Shop as well. We are working with a platform for brand ambassadors. And also we are right now in the process of creating UCG content. First, to have a strong TikTok Shop volume. Also, we're going to be putting TikTok Shop ads in connection to Amazon. So we're going to have people and ambassadors that they can buy from Amazon, or they can buy from the website, just since we're working with Shopify.
Yeah, what's the platform that you're signed up with to work with?
The platforms we work with, I always get tongue-tied. It's called Social Snowball. They're one of the few TikTok Shop partners.
Thank you.
Can I ask, do you have, with the factory you work with, do you have any high MOQs when it comes to creating more different products or different SKUs? And I noticed you also have packaging. Do the different packages integrate together, the 3-pack, 8-pack? Do they all integrate if you want to make more?
Yeah, so the factory does not really, our relationship is such that we can order like 300 units without any major impact. Though we always try to squeeze whatever we can when we place a bigger order, a couple thousand or so. As to currently our system of hex lights, which is our core product, but we do have other products and of course others in the pipeline. They are all modular, so you can connect them all together. And we're doing things like, if you look at Hexlight Pix, it's the same Hexlight as Hexlight Kids, which is really the same as Hexlight Touch.
Yeah.
So
and that's what you were asking before about how we're going to be growing, and if something gets trend or we see that there is more. Again, we work with a lot of backend information. We look very carefully about the PPC and how people are coming to our website or they coming to our Amazon or where they're clicking. So that give us a lot of information, what people are looking for, and we can see the trends. As we seen the trends, we created a kids version, a teens version, a twins, depends on what we need. And that's where we get a lot of information of what people are looking for.
One more question. Following what Vanessa asked, you mentioned what's the sensory market in general, which is hundreds of million, but can you give an example who are like your main competitor today on Amazon and what's their revenue?
So I would say our main competitor,
Autism.
yeah, they're called Bright Autism. And I know unfortunately I cannot give you their actual revenue. I haven't checked in a while. What's their total revenue?
But again, I don't know if I can call them comparison because they're just so niche and targeted to autism.
I understand.
And also they really do they call themselves Bright Autism, I believe, because they did start with lighting products, but they went way beyond that. So they have products that have nothing to do with lights. And they seem to be well established within the community, probably with their email listing and such, because they get sales, which same product or similar product to one of ours, higher sales. We believe it's because of external traffic, and so we're working on that as well and building our external traffic channels. But yeah, I cannot give you their total revenue at this point.
Okay.
Okay, great. I think we have any more final questions, or else I'm gonna have to wrap this up.
Okay.
Angelos, yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I just had, first of all, just to say, that I believe that you guys are the ideal e-commerce couple, let's say, because you can have a professor of marketing with a product specialist. I think this is a great combo. So I think I really like your product. So I would say, first of all, I think it's by selling in 4 platforms, I'm really interested to learn a little bit more like as to which ones tend to be the most kind of forthcoming from a growth point of view, because that also will give you some guide as to where you can actually push a little bit further down the line, let's say. So is it Amazon, Shopify, Etsy, or would you say TikTok currently?
So currently, it's certainly Amazon.
Yes.
And it's interesting also, Amazon, like this 2024 was Amazon US. 2023 was Amazon UK actually did the bulk of our business.
Right. Okay.
So it's kind of moving around.
Yeah, but there were a lot of, as you all know, what's going on with TikTok. So we were really, because of the investment that also means doing TikTok is not cheap and it takes a lot of time to do it right. And we do things only that we know that we can do right. So right now, my TikTok colleagues are telling me that it's safe to do it. And also because right now the platform of TikTok is more flexible. Before it was really difficult for certain categories. Now I feel like there is a bigger opportunity because of how they are evolving in the US. And I truly believe that TikTok then is going to be expanding in other territories. So I think also there is an opportunity there, and also by creating the UCG content and also with a new platform as Amazon and brands, Amazon creators, that also they have the partnership now with TikTok, so they can go back and forth. And as you know, even Amazon put a bid for TikTok. So I think there is something there. I call it a gut feeling of being doing this for a long time.
But with that said, TikTok it's zero right now. We're literally launching as we speak. So we're putting everything together right, like Lara says, but not, we have not actually started selling. So coming soon.
Perfect. And maybe a side question, sorry, just to hijack a little bit of the time from what Nadav asked in terms of like competition and maybe on the revenue side, what type of where would you guys sit in terms of like margin so far for the business? in broad terms, let's say, without overexposing.
Yeah, in general, we're around 20%
Okay.
profit margin. Of course, the situation right now with the tariffs is
Of course.
hopefully an
Yeah.
anomaly. So we'll see moving forward.
Okay. Perfect.
And
Thank you.
again, when all these tariffs and crazy things were happening, we sat down and we thought, okay, what do we do here? This is a conversation that we always have, and we realized that the most important thing is to strengthen our relationships. There is nothing we can do about the tariffs, but yes, we can always make strong leadership decisions and to work with and partner with people really to all grow together.
Great. I think we have one final quick question because we're running out of time. Vanessa, you had your hand up.
Yeah,
No,
I
okay.
just wanted to know what's your acquisition strategy and how many people come from, organic versus paid?
I mean, currently we mostly use Amazon PPC to drive traffic, and we have our tacos are around 10, 11, so not bad. We're getting probably around 20% from that and 80% organic on Amazon. And then we have some other channels and
Yeah, we do a lot of SEO, and we are now doing, well, we've been doing it for a long time for AI SEO structure correctly for AI. So we are appearing, if you look at, you asked ChatGPT about what was that?
Yeah.
Tensor Lights, Umbrella comes first.
Very nice. Thank you, guys.
All right,
Thanks.
perfect. Thank you so much for the presentation. Next, we are going to have UMAMI going to present the brand UMAMI. All right.
Thank you, guys. And first, I want to say a big congrats to my peers, Vonod and Ami, for putting so much effort in a beautiful and convincing presentation. Very inspiring. Thank you, guys. I guess the main thing we have in common, the three of us, is the importance in our business of Amazon as a channel in our go-to-market strategy. And although I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of everything that Amazon does, there are three things that I admire in this company very much: how customer-oriented they are, how they drive internal people with principles, and to a smaller scale, how they conduct internal digest the pre-readings, and that they absolutely ban PowerPoints during meetings because Bezos was convinced that PowerPoints was preventing the brain from working fully. So tonight for me, it's 9 p.m. here in Europe. I won't show you a full deck, but I will only show you one picture that is part of my brand vision, and I'll try to speak to you to your brain and hopefully to your hearts as well. So our mission at UMAMI is to help people live a better life by eating better and healthier at lunch. As a background, my mom used to be a nutritionist, and as a husband and father, today myself, I'm very much concerned by the obesity epidemic that we see all across the globe, and I want to play my part and help people live better by eating healthier. And that's why I created UMAMI 8 years ago, to become the most inspiring brand on the nomad accessories for lunch. Umami, maybe some of you know, it's a Japanese word that means savory. It's the fifth flavor that we can all taste every day in dishes like tomatoes, mushrooms, grilled meats, cheese, shellfish, etc. Our positioning is premium, so we didn't choose to address our category just on price. Our aim is to offer the best quality product in the market, and we will always have good enough basic products competing with us, but we're here to build a lifestyle brand in our community. We're a fully remote team of 10 people based for myself in Switzerland and China, covering all the key functions like marketing, design, operations, and sales. Our current business size is $2 million, and we're aiming for a bit over $3 million in the next 12 months. Distribution channels. Of course, Amazon is our historic channel where we launched the brand 8 years ago. It's 65 to 70% of our business, US, Canada, and all Europe. In US on the marketplace, on seller and vendor via distributors, in Europe, hybrid seller and vendor. And next in line is the Emirates and Japan. But the second pillar in our distribution strategy is retail. That is already 30% of sales. That's what trade shows for kitchenware. Here in Europe, there's another big one in Chicago every year. And that accounts for 30% of our sales right now, just in 3 countries that we launched 1 year ago: France, Switzerland, and the entire Middle East region. We just opened recently Italy, Poland, Greece, and Colombia. And of course, we're in discussion with many more, including the US. And the third market for us that we just are scratching the surface about is the corporate gifts. Every company is willing to give their employees or clients gifts with their logo on, like a lunchbox, or tomorrow little insulated water bottles like this, much better than the brand that starts with Stan and finished by Lay. So that's what we do. Our strategy is to continue exploiting Amazon for what it's good for. So it's good for refining the product market fit. It's good for refining the pricing and validating the customer 5-star experience, and consolidate that channel by pivoting to vendor that is more profitable for us whenever it's possible. So we do that direct in Europe and indirect in US and Canada. Focus on cash cows and cut underperforming SKUs and launch tactically. Expand to retail, second, in more countries with more key accounts, more stores, and more SKUs per key account. And then enter the corporate gift market, 10% directly and 90% with resellers like agencies. We have some competitors that do more than half of their business actually on this corporate gift market. Geographies: expand to new markets through retail and through distributors, one per each market, and on corporate gifts. And in terms of portfolio, it's to launch complementary products that address the same persona. For example, insulated bottles for adults. We will come soon with insulated bottles for kids that turns on as a snack box like this. Very cool products like other insulated bags for kids, etc. Offer products that are not just functional but also stylish. So we do not want to be the basic Tupperware, but we come with a design item that you're proud to have your colleagues ask questions about. So our uniqueness is smartness. We're all-in-one products. It's the most smart product design. And yeah, the look and feel of the product is great. We won two design awards, like the Red Dot Design Award that we won for the adult range and now for the kids. In terms of marketing strategy, we'll focus on activities for online intent buyers and offline shoppers, so create superiority of our range versus competition and magnify the product either on Amazon or at the point of sale. And the funds, if we're happy to be funded more, it will be used 2/3 for inventory buildup for new launches and 1/3 for international expansion to secure deals with big retailers across the globe. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you so much for the presentation. Now we open up for some questions.
Yeah, you mentioned that you had 60 to 75% of your sales on Amazon, and now you're going to retail. Can you give us an idea of your top line in several different Amazon markets, like your top 3 Amazon markets? And then what do you expect your sales to be in retail over the next 1 and 2 years with that expansion?
So US is about 1 million for us. France is probably 200, and Germany a bit below 150, something like that. And retail can really, depending on which key account we sign, actually, that can double, that can do a 5x multiple on the business if it's big enough. So for that we're ready. Of course, we won't be ready in day two in terms of stock. We need a bit of anticipation, but those negotiations take time anyway. It takes usually 6 to 9, sometimes longer, 6 to 9 months. So we'll be ready for any big retailers willing to distribute our products, and that can really puts us on a different scale. We see that with other brands. One of our big competitors in the US is called BentGo, and we really respect those guys. We're founder of this company is actually part of the same business group where I am, and I really look up to those guys because they started on Amazon. They are now in retail in Walmart, Target, etc. They're crushing it, and we're just a little brother trying to do the same as Big Brother.
How is your price point compared to theirs, and what would you use the funds for?
So price point is quite similar. We're about $30 for the adult range, $35 for the kids range for a better product. That's my humble opinion. But as a challenger, we always try harder, right? So we try to have better product with at least as good price positioning. And the fundings, like I said, will be used 2/3 for new launches. So not just the current assortment, but new launches that require a bit of a stock and investment, and 1/3 to put more efforts into these international expansions through distributors, through trade shows to scale that distribution.
Can I ask the product design? Are these things that you design them, or is it coming by factory design and you're just private labeling? And do you have any patents on
So
those designs?
Thanks. We started like most Amazon sellers, we started by doing private label. Now it's our own design, and so we design patent in those, and that's why we were able to win those design trophies that recognize that it's actually great thought. And the nestable range, for example, this it looks like a regular lunchbox, but actually you can put the small layer into the big one once you're done, etc. So you save a lot of space, and it's all included, all the cutlery, etc. And to come up with such a product through AI, we digested like 100,000 reviews or something like this, just to come up with the ideal format, the ideal features of that product. And it took us 9 months in terms of design and doing the mold and going into production. And finally, we're there in the market, and it's working well.
Right. And where do you see the largest potential when it comes to the online market? Where do you feel most confident when it comes to the size of the market and your ability to take over that area?
So online again is not the full word for us, but it's still a big part today. Amazon will still play a big part. The one channel that we just started about is TikTok Shop. That we're not there yet, but we're putting a lot of efforts into that. And then the rest of the world is actually offline. Our category, the offline, is probably 60 to 70% of the total addressable market. So that's why we don't want to forget that, and that's why we're already in 1,000 stores across the globe, and we're going to continue growing that.
And one more question, this is also manufactured in China. Do you have also
Yes.
tariff? How do you deal with the tariffs?
Oh yes. Unfortunately, we're all treated the same when producing in China. The good thing though is that half of the business is not in the US, so we don't suffer from Trump's tax in that part of the business. On the other part, we're similar to what my peers were mentioning. We're also talking with factories outside China to fully manufacture or assemble and being able to say that it is actually where the country of origin is. So it's in discussion. It takes a bit of time. We're not there yet, but yeah, it's on the table for sure.
Okay, Vanessa.
Thank you for your presentation, Etienne. Question: you mentioned vendor. Are you and you gave Brandon some numbers for top line. Are you worried about Amazon changing the strategy with vendors and closing smaller accounts? And if that happens to you, what's going to be the impact on the business? Because you said that you make more money selling through vendor than through Seller Central.
Of course I am. I would be fool not to be worried about that. So this situation right now, vendor closing some small suppliers accounts, happens a lot in the US, not so much in Europe at that point. There's always like a 1 year, 2 year time difference between the two continents at Amazon. So to mitigate that risk, in the US, actually, we don't sell directly to Amazon vendor. We go through distributors, and we don't go through just one of them, but through 4 or 5 of them. So that mitigates that risk.
Distributors that have vendor accounts.
Exactly, and more than one, each of them.
Okay.
And in Europe, we use our own, but we're also getting ready to use the same strategy, like you said, to mitigate that risk. So yeah, the risk is there, but we're preparing ourselves for that.
How much of a difference is it in the profit margin with vendor versus 3P? How much are you losing just because you changed the relationship?
So rough rule of thumb, I would say that the profits are 2 times to 3 times better on vendor for us.
Okay.
Which is a no-brainer.
Yeah, totally. Thank you.
For me, Etienne, thanks very much for the presentation. Maybe I had a kind of a different question, which relates to the product as such. So when it comes to reviews, and I'm focusing on those reviews that they are suggesting, improvements and addressing, let's say, faults or anything related to the experience. How are you guys integrating those kind of reviews into the product? What is the strategy, let's say, for always improving the product, let's say?
Thanks for the question. So every week, one team member is actually responsible for feeding the rest of the team with a summary of all the reviews that we received. And of course, we're very happy with all the 5-star reviews that we have, but I don't really look into them because I know what the products are good for. What I'm always looking at is the people complaining. And at every batch, we try to include those feedbacks into the next production to improve the product continuously. So for example, on that product that I shown you, one complaint was not on the current production, but on the last batch is that those two layers were not that going that well together. So we actually carved the mold a little bit more to have these little parts a bit thicker, and now it's not doing this anymore. So that was not an easy fix because we had to correct the mold. So it takes a bit of time, and it's not like just changing a sticker, but yeah. So we continuously, it's called continuous improvement in the company. That's what we do.
No, that's great. That's great. Yeah.
Another question on logistics, since you are working in multiple marketplaces, multiple countries, and I see a lot of SKUs. It looks like you have, I think, over 100 probably, right?
Yes.
It's managing a lot, so much. Are you able to manage MOQs and really create profitability in every marketplace in that way? Is that part of your strategy too, to be so spread out?
So I don't want to say we did everything right. For some launches, we probably did launch a bit too much SKUs. But we always want to launch with a bit more color variations usually, and see what sticks, right? We'll come with 6 or 8 colors and probably will land with 4 or 5. But for a launch, we still think that's great to impress the shopper and the online shopper with such a variety. And then, of course, we cut what's not working. And then in terms of MOQs and stocks, of course, it creates some complexity. So we're very much tech oriented. So we use from Carbon 6, we use SoStock since the beginning to manage the the forecast, we use a very valuable 3PL in Chino, California, and another one in Europe to help us on that. But yes, it's always a challenge to operate, like every one of us, I guess. I don't want to say we're the best, but we're trying our best.
That's at the back of what Nadav said. I would say, so what is, would you say, the biggest challenge for the growth of the business? Because you mentioned that you're pushing from 2 up to 3 million with this kind of presence, multi-channel. But I would say, what would you pin down as the key challenge that needs to be addressed, if we're to bottom line, so that we can say if we hit that, we would be accelerating, with the fastest rate.
So I would say that it's a basic rule of business, but now than more than ever, it's needed. It's how to operate with efficiency, manage the cash, manage the forecasts, not to spend too much, and be lean and veloz on launches, basically. So it has always been the case, but now with increasing costs everywhere, tariffs, etc., it's even more important, and I think that's going to be the main criteria of business that will grow and business that will sink.
Okay.
Okay.
Anyone else? All right, so I think we're going to wrap this up. I want to thank again the finalists for giving us great presentation, and for our market leaders to giving us such good questions and insight. So just to finalize this, I'm going to ask each of our finalists a final question, just to get a little idea of where your head is at, I guess. So for GenCare, if tomorrow Amazon suspends your top ASIN, how would you adjust your strategy to protect revenue within 48 hours?
We already have multiple of the top. We don't have just a single top performing SKUs. At the same time, we already have a Walmart as our backup for maintaining the revenue.
So then you wouldn't do any strategy if Amazon suspends your ASIN?
Of course, definitely challenging them back. Most of our suppressions are compliance related, and we're very well covered when it comes to a compliance related suspensions.
Okay. EmberSky, question to you. Now that you're getting into the TikTok, a top influencer just roasted your product on TikTok. What would you do? Do you respond? Do you ignore? Do you flip it at a viral moment? What would you do if this were to happen to you?
I would respond. I would respond and thank them for their honest opinion and tell them that we are, thriving to give our customers exactly what they want. And so we welcome any opinion, and we'll make sure that moving forward, all customers will be super happy with their product.
Okay, great. And UMAMI, your factory calls your next production run is delayed by 2 months. What's your action plan to stay fully stocked and sane?
Well, on the next day, I'm on the plane to them with nice Swiss chocolates, and we'll figure out together, obviously. But if I may answer to the same question as Amy before, I love that question, and thank you for the answer. I would also roast my products even more badly and say, we're not taking ourselves that seriously, but thank you for the criticism. It helps us improve better. And you know what? Next time, next production, you'll have a better product in your hands.
One thing I would like to add, what we typically do is we continuously respond to all of these suppression questions until either we make it or we confuse them until they approve a listing.
Very good. Now that we're thinking back of the questions, right? So this is just a quick, fire around question for everyone. So we'll start with GenCare also. If a competitor copies your product and undercuts your price by 20%, what would you do first? Would you file for a takedown? Would you change your listing? or would you double down on ads?
So we will double down on ads with the price point value creation, how we can create the more value and retain our position as a lead.
So you would first double down on ads and then change your listing.
We always change it.
Yeah.
With regards to us, in terms of the changing a listing, it's not the changing a listing, it's creating a value and converting a high converting a listing. Yes. So of course we will bring graphic and other aspects changes to the listings, but ads and value creation. We always focus on value creation.
Okay. And also for you, EmberSky, Amy, what would you do?
I will probably lower my price for a little bit, if I can. Just probably apply multiple strategies, and that will be one of them. And yeah, it's really at the end all about value more than price. So if you can prove that your product has extra value over the competitor, so listing is how you prove that. So yeah, I mean, we'll have to run on all cylinders, like work on the listing at the same time, deal with the pricing just temporarily so that we don't lose, traction with our customers.
Yeah. And you, UMAMI?
So I would fight for value, probably using advertising, but not just in a robotic way. I would flood the market and their listings with sponsor brands format saying why a $30 lunchbox is better than a $25 lunchbox. My secondary image will do exactly that and say for $25 you get this, for $30 you get this. Why is that better? And also I flood the listing with comparison videos done by influencers comparing the two and saying, guys, put the price, you'll not regret it.
Great. I love all the information. This is very, very good. So again, I want to thank everyone for taking the time really out of your busy schedule, also for the market leaders and mentors and the finalists to really sharing, what you've created. And it truly is beautiful. The fact that this journey is, there's lots of ups and downs, and the fact that, that you guys are still in the middle of everything. And that's fantastic. So I want to thank again for our sponsors. I want to thank again for obviously, Carbon6 for their gift, AVASK, Tactical, Data Dive, and CapEc for hosting this wonderful fun tank. And I'm going to actually bring this back to Nadav now to close it off for us.
Thank you. So really, it's been a great event, and I think the beauty of our business, I mean, me personally, I've been selling for 10 years myself, and we started CapEc exactly for seeing these amazing brands and businesses and being able to help and support and grow them. And we see hundreds of businesses daily, and not everyone has everything in control. The fact that you've arrived to being the 3 finalists means that we see that you are doing things right. And after listening to all of you today, I mean, I think all 3 of you have amazing businesses and with true potential to skyrocket. And it's not going to be easy to choose one, really. And I think this was a wonderful opportunity just to hear everyone and their strategic plan for the future. And we're going to end up choosing one, and we're going to support this business, and it'll be great to see him grow. But all the rest, we're still here for you also if you don't end up winning. We're still always here to grow with businesses and to give them finance for their growth. So I believe that when growing your business, inventory is what you need. That's 80-90% of our capital. That's the biggest problem. And therefore, that's why we created our product to be able to supply that capital for growth so you can deal with the beauty of creating new products, marketing, growing into more marketplaces, and not have to worry about that inventory stockouts that everybody's been talking about here in their pitches. So thank you everybody again for joining us. It's been a great event, and I hope we'll have it again. And And we'll let you know next week. Within next week, we'll have our final decision after all our judges vote. And good luck to the winner.
Right.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you
Take
for
care,
the
everybody.
conversation.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thanks.
To everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.